WLFE-DB Radio has LGBTQ shows like Across the Pond, Rainbow Soul, Everything Yet Nothing, and Inside the Drag Closet. Check out the schedule on WLFE-DB.com. You can even watch them on TV at WLFE-DB.com under LGBTQ Friends, right off our website. Again, it's WLFE-DB.com for your LGBTQ shows and more.
WLFE-DB.com, where talk radio is a whole lot better. Our shows are your shows, and that there makes for a great talk radio.
Welcome to Rainbow Soul, part of the WLFE-DB network, an explorative discussion about spirituality beyond mainstream religions. Hollis Taylor, author, psychic, astrologer, and alchemical mage, brings their non-binary perspective together with fellow drag king and trans man Lacrosse Ortiz, a Jewish Taino with spiritual background of exploration that has led him to an atheist perspective. Join these guys as they explore deep and difficult topics, all related to spirituality, offering a queer perspective and exploration of interesting topics and engaging guests to help explore conversations for the Rainbow Soul.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my friend. I'm so glad we're here today. Oh, what an exciting summer, eh?
Oh, and hot.
Super hot where you are. Nice and cool in the mountains.
Yeah,
here in Colorado.
I said, I miss wearing my shirt and ties, but I'm just like, I can't. It's too hot.
Well, you can imagine what the temperature is actually in Australia because it's wintertime there. So, and let me just say, that's, first of all, my bucket list place to go, Australia. But first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Hollis Taylor. I'm the author of the book Divine Androgen. It's all about defining your own sacred path, and especially as a gender variant person, and exploring what that path is. It's a very empowering book. And I'm also a psychic, witch, a medium, and an all-around magic folk. And I'm non-binary. And my co-host here is Lacrosse. Go ahead, Lacrosse, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lacrosse Ortiz. I am a trans Jewish Taino atheist. I do believe in medicine, all kinds of medicine and spirituality, just not the divine essence of this big supreme being behind it. But yeah, I definitely believe you can live a spiritual life without that part. And also just trying to learning new every day, new things. Realize I'm an avid professional student.
Lifelong learning. That's a beautiful thing, my friend. Yeah. Beautiful thing. And we have another special guest. You guys might be familiar with my partner and best friend, Bright Hawk.
Hi, Bright Hawk.
Hi,
Tell us who you are, Bright Hawk.
Well, I'm Bright Hawk. I'm a creator of music and stories. I'm the author of The Dancing Hippo. It's a great pleasure to put this book out in the world. It's gender neutral characters. Amanda Moore did the illustrations And the messages are really positive. It's about a hippo, obviously, and there are 3 messengers. One is the honeybee, and the honeybee reminds us that sometimes life stings. Sometimes life's sweet, like honey. And the thing is, you decide. And then the firefly reminds us that only you can shine your light. It's a choice to shine your light. And then the 3rd messenger is the butterfly. And the butterfly, of course, speaks of transformation from caterpillar to butterfly. That if you work for it, transformation's possible. And so it's very fun to share this book that has positive messages, and in a way it has its own spiritual flow. The beginning and the end is all about the hippo dance trance, which is a lot of fun. So you can learn more about it at brighthawkproductions.com. And I'm also the creator of Storytellers Connection. It's a podcast. And if you go to my website, you can see my podcast, listen to lots of different stories. It's my great pleasure to share stories and to encourage people to share their stories.
Fantastic. I'm so glad you're here. Okay. I thought you were going to say something else. And I want to say that Sandy is here. Hi, Sandy.
Sandy.
Welcome back. We're so glad you're here. And so is Robert. Welcome, Robert. We're glad you're here. We're so glad everybody's tuning in, because tonight is such a special show, at least for me, and I think you guys are going to really like this great friend of ours. Because, first of all, who doesn't want to go to Australia? I just can't think of a person in my world that's like, Australia? Yeah, let's go. And number 2, if you love magical people, especially people with like a world view on magic, that is my guest today. Our guest today, Zebiah Lionheart, does like immersive online events about spirituality and diving in deep. And I know that she's been around the world, and she's been in some really cool places, including places we've shared together. So I want to bring her out and bring Zebiah out. Welcome, Zebiah. We're so glad you're here.
Happy Monday morning. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's by the way, in Australia, it's wintertime right now. Just got past winter solstice. And it's Monday morning for Zebiah. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Wow. Yep.
Yeah.
And Zebiah, So, Zebiah, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are? Because you're also a musician.
Yeah. Thank you, family, brothers and sisters. Beautiful to be here. I've just sprung in here because Brighthawk and Hollis are they're next level. So whatever you have got going here, honeys, whatever you have got going here, I'm just putting up my hands saying, yes, I'm part of the tribe. We're all one heart. And this reflection that we can really reflect within each other and back each other in this field is the most important pinnacle for our evolution. So when we lean into each other, we are family. We are this unified field as a rainbow that goes all the way around planet Earth. So thank you, beautiful family, for inviting me here. And I'm just backing you all the way. Feel the power of what we're sharing with the Earth. It's very important. So I am Zebiah Lionheart. Perkins is my surname. And yeah, it's an amazing journey when we can really step into that luminous field, that that intelligence that is beyond our physical being. And I stand for freedom. I am in service of Mother Earth, for all humanity to feel peace and happiness and joy within their ancient hearts. Very important to me. So I've been a independent mama of 3 beautiful angels for 10 years now, and I have been through trauma for the 20 years prior and birthing those children. And I feel the ones that have been given the upset and the trauma in the field, they're the ones that hold the most extraordinary light. We just have to really open the portals to that and really gravitate in and cultivate that strength of who we are. Colors, races, genders, all the bits and pieces in this magical rainbow. If we can create happiness and strength of who we are and cultivate and exercise the muscle of our own freedom, we become the walking altar of our life. And we really bring that sphere into our being as our unique greatest self, our sacred self. That's different to the false self that runs the lower vibrations and the crazy mind and the demons that sit on people's shoulders and all the bits and pieces of this world. But knowing that if we cultivate that ancient heart and we are the walking altar of our existence, we dream our world into reality. It's like a reflective mirror from the internal ancient heart that we hold. Our healing ancestors come down to guide us. And the world needs more healers, more people stepping into their craft and sharing this ancient heart and the knowledge, the wisdom, our spirit, that it's really there for all of us. So, yeah, very important. I have Aboriginal in my blood, and I live in New South Wales, Kumbangia land, Ginagayu Jarwin, which is a greeting in our Aboriginal ways. And it's very potent to understand what ancestors are in your blood, what lineages, as that world bridge to a greater power from the lands that we walk, from what we've been seeded with of the past. Very important we cultivate that, and we understand that we are not just this physical skin suit. We embody the spirit, the ancient heart within, that then it molds and is malleable out through our beautiful physical skin suits. Then we can have so much gratitude and forgiveness for our mothers and fathers, for our families, and we forgive solemnly, and we thank them for our beautiful physical skin suits. And we utilize this to walk a strength in as the lion, the jaguar. We walk by our sides with a puma in our physical, spiritual, endurance self. And that's something that's very honorable, that we hold very dear to ourselves, that we can shift all the upsetness. We can transform the pain to power, the grief to praise. We just got to open that new portal and really cultivate this strength of who we are. And at times it's not pretty. Unprocessed energy. It's not pretty at times, but we can understand and we shift through those realms, and we pop out the other side with a light that is always there, that we feel like we can levitate with if we exercise the muscle of this. That's what I've observed. And through my years of trauma and upsetness, I had the ability to go to these magical, worldly, indigenous ways that I had no idea why I was going there at the time, but I'm a real decision, willingness and action girl. And I check into those places with decision. Have we made decision, or are we lagging? Willingness. Are we willing to go the yards for our spiritual growth? Are we willing to commit to that, even through the uncomfortable bits? And are we lacking anywhere with willingness? And then comes action, where everything all aligns and we walk into that field then of the action-based. So for me personally, it was flying off to Kathmandu, Pokhara, learning the shaman's wisdom of the Tibetan lineage. And that was many, many years ago, 30 years ago. And I learnt Tibetan bowl sounding and a therapy through sound. I learnt the Dzogchen, which I would have a daily practice, which was mantras and voice activation and really healing that sphere of what is all available to us through the harmonic frequencies of the planet. And this is ancient wisdom. This knowledge of the Dzogchen was a real pinnacle in ancient wisdom, and then it was taken over by China and taken and remolded, and that was left to be lost. So I've run a lot of my life through that portal, that voice activation, knowing through the elements, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the ether, the sun, the moon, the stars. That was something that was coded in me for liberation, the highest form of liberation, through mantras and sound and meditation and so forth, breath work, all the bits and pieces that go on with that. And what I did understand from that kept me in a space that is only really in these last 10 years has really bounced into who I am. That it comes in for stability when we're ever going unstable. And that's very important, that we can really attune into that ancient heart, that spirit within, to be able to speak and sound that energy out into the field. That's what I'm very passionate about, and being in service of the planet and all humanity being able to feel peace and harmony within themselves as the stillness in the eye of the storm, as all chaos is dancing around us. All the trauma from our generations, our DNA that sits from war and torture, understanding what is ours, what's not ours, and being able to speak into the space and also say, no. I have a right to my own sanity, and I have a right to my own freedom. And I am a staff in Mother Earth with this light that we hold as a reflective mirror to our Wirikucha, our energy. So the Tibetan knowledge was encoded many years ago. Then comes the African spirit, the drum, the Zimbabwean medium information, and the Samgona medicine people's knowledge. And that drum really revved my fire up. I was Kali for a lot of years, firing that up to just say, no more. So that fire is very important for us to feel. But what do we do with it? Do we give it to others and spit it out all around and create the war and the torture? Or do we have purposely built rage rituals that we are able to give and hand over this upset so it can compost in Mother Earth and grow her beautiful trees? So those journeys through all those lands, very, very important, and information that seemed to plant seeds in me. And at that time, going through upset and trauma, I didn't know what was happening, but I was doing it. I'd come home and then fall into trauma again. But what it does in these little times, we all think something's going to happen straight away, but it doesn't. It happens, and the change happens when your energetics and your frequencies are ready for it, because we can blow our circuits. And we've got to decide, be willing, and have the action to stand as leaders, to stand as stepping our craft for humanity into our field. It's very potent and powerful magic, and that's then led me through women's circles and holding space and learning to hold space for myself, so then I can hold space for others. Very, very powerful, that holding space for yourself. You and your greatest self just hanging out, I say. Have a great time. You and your greatest self just hanging out. Yeah, come on. So then I was taken the last 10 years over to Peru, and many journeys, learning the Kero shaman's information, and doing plant medicine, sacred Wachuma, San Pedro. The molecules of the plants that heal, the ancient plants that heal. And now I stand strong that we can cut through the upset and we can remold who we are, what we're doing here on this planet. And if we don't know, I remember those times quite potently. I don't know what I want. So I used to just pray for my purpose, my soul purpose. Just please give me my soul purpose. Through that soul purpose, then it went to help me get myself out of my own way. And that's when things started to happen. I would hear those harmonic frequencies around the external of wherever I was, and I was being spoken to. And now, as we call ourselves a channel, which I know we all are, in the water is where it happens for me. When I'm in the ocean, I live on the beach, so I work with the saltwater tribe. In the water, in the oceans, there's information that comes in, and there's these energies that dance with me. I feel it's my healing ancient ancestors that are way before my grandparents even, the ones that knew the medicine of the earth from the plants and spirit and the magic, and how we can bring healing vibrations in and we're not giving our power away. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you spot it, you've got it, is my motto. If you spot it, you know what to do with it. And you can actually bounce out of its grip and stand as a warrior of light. That I am a light being, and you look down at that hole, that leaky energy, that upset from anywhere. Mm-hmm. From others, from self, what goes on in the monkey mind. So we actually stand as a strong light being out of its grips, and we jump into its essence and we look at that. So if we spot it, we've got it. If we've got tools, we grab that tool, we put it in our toolbox. Grab this tool, we put it in our toolbox, so it can come out at a time that we need it. And the earth-based practices and the amazing journeys we had with the Keros in Peru just flipped me out of whatever we thought was normal, whatever we thought was supposed to be that we grew up with, or so forth. And I learned to stand very isolated for a long time, talking with spirit. Like, spirit is my ally. My motto now is I'm hanging on to the lightning shards from the thunder beings because they are my allies. And I was even hit by lightning. That's why that came in. I was hit by lightning.
Oh, no.
Catapulted me out of bed.
Holy shit. In your house?
Oh, right, okay. Huh?
Wow. I was asking, is that while you were in your house, you got hit by lightning? Wow.
Yes, in my house. It was just coming in, and there was a lot of funky energies. I was working with clients that had dark forces with them. We have to actually really look at these dark forces, these upsetting energies, these unconscious programs that people speak with. They cause hucha, heavy energy, and that's like a bad breeze that can go and knock anybody off their horse and kill them. That hucha, that heavy energy, if we recognize it's not good or bad, it's just heavy, we can identify it. Give a cup of tea of light, I say. Come in close to me, because I'll be having a heart-to-heart conversation with you, offering you a cup of tea. And that's a cup of tea of magic light. You're going to come in close. We'll get ready to be dissolved. Get ready to transform into this light force that we hold dear in our beings. And it is really that swift. It's like when the champagne bottle cork, the cork bursts, there's no way that cork can go back into that bottle. That's what I'm observing with the people that I work with. And I have quite a few US clients, and we're on screen on Zoom, and we're just really picking up those bits and pieces. that are weighing us down. So I go down with you, and I'm there backing you to do the work. So it's not a scary space. And with the awareness that drops in, and it's your awareness, because I'm only going to be a reflection to bring you back to your healer, bring you back to who you are, beyond all the trauma and the upset and the DNA and the upset that is just dumped on our shoulders. We are earth angels in these times, and I feel the ones that have really got the light codes within them are the ones that have had the biggest trauma. We've just got to flip that coin. We've got to burst that champagne bottle, and there's no way the cork can go back in, because then you've opened the portal. And I see everything like a child's storybook. And I know you love this, Bright Hawk. I love it so much, because it's just like peer through the chambers of your own most magnificent rainbow and be on the canoe of songs over to the island of the stars. And don't look back, because I've got this covered. We stand as a solid, anchored staff into Mother Earth, that we are of the stars. We pick our physical parents for our beautiful physical skin suits, but our spirit and our soul, our ancient heart belongs to the great spirit, the Upus Mountains, the great spirit crystalline mountains, and the waterways. The mountains are our papa, the waterways are our mama, and we stand on our indigenous lands of where we walk in these absolute moments of our life. We stand very strong, so then we can forgive all the past and understand the past. They didn't have the work that we have available to us now. Didn't have that work then. Now we have.
That seems.
So we can actually have the ability, to shift through all the trauma of the past and bring in a new way where we expand our wings and we claim our self-sovereign freedom, because we all have the right to our own sanity and we have the right to our own freedom.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful.
A little bit about me, darlings.
I love you, Zebiah. You just emanate love and healing and positive energy, and I think I appreciate that about you. And what you were saying about trauma, I wanted to let you know that Eve, I wanted to read this so that people on the radio can also hear. Generational traumas bring a choice that we can reject as not accepting or embracing them as they're not ours is really powerful concept, as we often have a lot of things that are painful, but many started with our ancestors and are not really our own to carry. But we often forget that we don't have to suffer under trauma, pain, or curses of the past generation repeatedly as our own power sapping upset. And I just want to say that is really important. I mean, I know that here in America, we boy, oh boy, we have a hell of a history that is not exactly easy to swallow. And at times you can go, oh my, because of what happened. And I know Australia doesn't exactly have a clean history either. But I think not owning that is so important, and also though, making change going forward, like making it different, like for me, it's about lifting up people of indigenous tribes, like even my buddy Lacrosse here, right? About saying, hey, come on, let's do this together, right? And let's bring on Candy brings plenty from the Lakota tribe, and let's lift these people up. Yes. And I think that can also heal any kind of generational trauma you might be holding. Yeah. But I think it's beautiful that what you're saying.
Yeah, being back.
You don't have to hold that.
Right. Yeah. I know in the indigenous, like with the Caribbean, like a lot of people, since we're so mixed, like with the Spaniard and the indigenous and all these other cultures, it's hard to carry both of these, the DNA of these ancestors and not feel a sense of guilt or shame. But then at the same token, I'm still the other part of that was the recipient of it, and being able to basically forgive my own ancestors, because I have both the conqueror and the conquered. And that's a really hard thing to live with when you're thinking, yes, you know, they're like, oh, you're this, you're that. But I can't deny either culture, because all these beautiful things create who I am today. So it's a matter of learning to live with and learning from it, not just learning to live with it, but learning from it so that history doesn't repeat.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Keep on blasting love into the field. You know, the love, just the love, the forgiveness and the love. And if that's the biggest pinnacle, if we feel like, what can we do here? We can build despachos. We can build offerings for our earth. We can do our rituals to blast love into the field. Just keep on blasting it into the field, even if we're not feeling that we love ourselves in these moments. We blast it for all sentiment beings, for our sacred earth, as the rainbow that goes double time around our Mother Earth. Love wins.
Sorry.
Go ahead, go, Brayhawk.
One of the things Hollis and I did the last several years is we ran a nonprofit called Let's Dance Activities. And it was such a blast to go into all these different homes, nursing homes, Alzheimer units, memory care facilities, rehab, vet homes, some really intense places. I get what you're saying about when you got to bring it when it's dark and it's depressing and it's stinks and, you know, fill in the blank on all the different types of human triggers. But the coolest thing was that we could bring the love. So what we would do, and it was so simple and so transformational, we started in a circle. Everybody in a circle, because everybody can see each other. Everybody has a front row seat. You cannot believe how the simple request of asking people to be in a circle, how often that was a trigger to the people we were interacting with. The nursing home, what? You don't want rows? No, please put everybody in a circle. And then we would come in and I would be in the center. I would sit on my stool and I would start playing my music. I'd spin around and I would just start playing because, as you know, music is a vibration. And the fastest way to change the vibration in a room is do what? Raise the vibration, play music. So I'm playing my Hong Pan Art drum, and it's and I can see things are starting to transform and minds are starting to get blown because what the hell is that thing? It looks like a spaceship. And I couldn't help but just instantly invoke the elements. So I would invite them to start imagining themselves walking in the forest through the redwood trees. The sun is shining down like golden rays from heaven, making everything in the forest sparkle. And everybody's like, and you're walking next to the Merced River, which is splashing and gurgling with fawns and ferns and moss, and everybody's like, and now imagine, you know, and I would just take them on a little journey because that's what we want as human beings. I think we are so eager and willing to be transported if we can use our imagination and activate that. If you don't like the place you're in, tell yourself a better story and take yourself to a cooler place, right? So as a storyteller, I find it fascinating how many stories in creation stories and indigenous culture stories that all of them have a consistent live in harmony with the earth. Live in harmony with the earth. Pay attention to the plant medicines. Pay attention to all the different things that we need to learn as human beings and be good to each other. You know, it doesn't seem to matter where you go on the planet. I love the way you talk about the global heart and the ancestral heart, the one heart, because I do believe that when we go there, when we find ourselves in that vibration, we transcend everything. That's where we can truly improve as a species, right? As earthlings is what my latest term is. We're earthlings. That means our brothers and sisters are the trees and the fish and the animals and each other. And take care, take good care, love, right? So thank you. It's great to hear you and see you and I guess okay. We have a little technical thing going on, but
everything is just like a kid's storybook. We have to see things simple, like the child's storybook. This is how we remold something totally unique and different, as winding it back to simple philosophies and a child's storybook. Yeah.
I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Neither can I.
Sorry. Go ahead, guys.
Child's storybook.
I think they had to pop out and come back in.
Yeah. What do you think about that, brother? What do you think about that, the child's storybook?
I think, well, that's the whole point, is going back to the innocence, the purity, seeing everything as a child and being in, not just writing it, but being a part of that book. You know, like when I think of what's the beauty of children when they just see everything for the first time, like it's the most amazing thing. And when did we lose that along the way? And about trying to regain that, which is probably why I try to stay very immature for my age, because I don't want to lose that. I want to stay. I'm okay being a man child, and I want to play with toys, and I want to have fun, and I want to constantly be reliving things for the first time. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's like
you guys are up and running
in our magical forest.
Yeah.
Pixies. And we're dancing pixies in our magical forest. And we're really deeply listening and observing in the field like a huntress in our own forest. Really listening to the wind under the owl's wings. And dancing like pixies. Observing and flicking around our energy, because it's all with love and it's all with light, and we're going to dissolve and transform. The heavy energies are welcome here. Absolutely welcome. Just be ready to be transformed. And you're going to be transformed and activated up to the light with my white lighter, expansive army that's up there, that's backing me in my field. Because I know they are. We dance with them every moment that we can. Because we're pixies dancing in our forest, in the fairy rings circle, with all our sacred colours of our stones that we see the omens of the future with. And we see the messages of the now, and we deeply, deeply listen to that. That happiness and that joy that we can cultivate and transform, all of our upset. We bring that to praise, transforming grief to praise. We understand the blocks in our field. We can then, even if we're feeling upset or crappy in those moments, we can still get our physical and our spirit dancing with the pixies. It's a joy, a bouncing in with this joy vibration that seems to clear everything for a moment, but then we stabilize in that field. Child innocence, the child storybook, very, very powerful. Thank you, Brightheart, for bringing that in for those people. Thank you, family. You're awesome.
Book, and what I often found was worth repeating was reminding them, and I would sing a little song to them about only you can shine your light, because some of them, no problem, they were happy to shine their light, but many had gotten to that old age of, I'm just going to be a grump, and that's who I'm going to be. And fine, be whoever you want to be. But we would sing all these songs about love, and I would sing Shine Your Light. Only you can shine your light. And you could immediately tell as you worked around the circle who this was an easy concept for and who this was going to be a challenge for. Yeah. And bless their heart, it's always good to be able to bring love, because no matter what, you did something. You brought love, right? That's the way to go.
I think radiating positive energy, even here online, people can sense it. I love the energy you all give out. It makes me so happy and peaceful. Andrea's watching the show right now. Aww. And I think that at any time, if you're around people that are super heavy, I find that I have to validate them, because that seems to be the healing, like validate their pain, validate their heaviness, or whatever part of them is causing that heaviness. They need validation, yes. And maybe sometimes they just need someone to listen. And that's okay too. But then also, I think helping them get from the darkness to the light, that's where I'm good. I can walk with you in the shadows. I can walk with you in the dark. And that's what I like. Every single one of us is put here with different talents. I can walk you to Zebiah, right? I can come meet you in the dark closet in the basement, and you're cutting and life sucks, and I can help you let go of that shit and then step in and meet somebody like Zebiah who's going to take you to the light, right? I can help bridge that gap. And I know that every single one of us has something special. Like Bright Hawk here definitely is a light, she's a light holder. She stands at the other end of the tunnel going, this way, the light's over here, right? And some of us are darkness walkers. We can walk through the shadows with the people that are truly dark and need somebody to do that. And I think, Zebiah, even you're a light holder too. I think you stand at the other end of the tunnel with Bright Hawk and go, yeah, this way, right? You can kind of reach in there and grab people's hands and help them come on out, right? And we need you, I need some place to point them to, because for sure, some people really linger in the darkest of places. And maybe the reason that I walk in it so comfortably is because I myself have walked in it, right? I myself have walked in the darkest of places. I've come from huge trauma and horrific childhood and really dark places. And I was a cutter. I tried to commit suicide more times than I can count. And I really wanted to die for a long time. And then I transformed that. I changed it. And with some of the same Buddha things that you were talking about, Zebiah, and that's also how I came to empowerment, with breath and with mantras and the Buddhist way, and not about a supreme being at all. It was more about meditation and the way you think and changing the way you do things. And then that became my spiritual path, not a supreme being. And then I started to get in touch with an energy that is beyond me that I would call the divine, but it's not a supreme being at all. It doesn't look anything like what normal gods or whatever. And it can show its face in all of those, but it's not any one of those. And I think one of the most fascinating things that I've explored in world religion, like of looking at all the different indigenous tribes, the Aboriginal people, all the indigenous tribes here in America, including even Taino, right? Yeah. Is the elements, and even the Irish and the Europeans, the elements, the fact that all of us seem to have there's some things that kind of range that are a little bit different, but wow, earth, air, fire, water, everybody seems to get that.
It's and that Mother core. Earth. Yeah, it's that basic core concept that everybody is connected to. We're all connected to the mother. We're all connected to the elements. We are all parts of the elements. So yeah, it's definitely that core of all beliefs, And I think the beauty of that is we were like segueing back to the child. Sometimes we have to be a child and go back to the basics, because we get so convoluted with our trauma, with everything we go through. We get lost, and we're out there, and like you're saying, walking in the shadows, and you get lost out there and you don't know what direction
Yeah.
you're going. And then sometimes you have to
Yep.
go back and say, you know what, I need to go back to the basics: earth, air, water, fire, you know, and things like that to start guiding you back.
Even the child
Yeah.
because when you were a child, you probably
Yes.
played in all of those things without ever thinking about it,
Nope.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
We all played in the mud. We danced in the rain when we were children, hopefully. You know, and we dreamt of flying, right? And all of the different ways that we engaged with the
core.
earth in such innocent ways. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I think that as children and as playful children, that's kind of what happens even when you travel. When you travel, you have to become a curious child.
Yes, that's right.
And everything's new. Everything is new.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Click into your prayers and your prayers and knowing that you're protected in that field as well. You know, when we say that we're part of this core and we're talking about the elements, everywhere that I have traveled and the ancient wisdoms that I've been initiated with, all back to the element. You know, my dear mama for her passing a year ago now, and I practiced the Tibetan Bardo. And it was my first space with my dear mama that I could actually hold her to open up the elements, to open up the rainbow, to sit in ceremony for 48 days for her spirit to ascend on the canoe of songs over to the island of the stars. And when I spoke at her funeral, and spoke all about the elements, all about the air, fire, the water, the earth, the monkey mind of the air, for instance. You know, even Ayurvedic medicine, or all is so much is all laced within the elements. You know, the air element, if it's too out in the body, you know, that's that monkey mind. That's also the part of Pitta Vata that sends people in mental institutions. Now let's look at what's going on the planet. You know, you've got too much air, too much racing around, too much movement, too much monkey mind. That's where then you have to bring it down to that fire and that art, and really burning a new way into the sacred earth, back down into Mother Earth, that you are crystalline bones in Mother Earth. And when I spoke about this with the priest for the funeral of my dear mama, he said, "Wow, Zebiah, did you know that the elements are in the Bible?" And I had no idea about that. You know, whoever it is that we pray to, God, Buddha, we are all one. All of us are one. And I'm so surprised every moment that there's links with all ancient philosophies of healing through the elements. And if we really embody that frequency and pick up what's going on in any one moment of our day, we can attune ourselves, we can clear our pokpos, we can bring new fresh awareness in and clear the field and protect the field. And then we come down to the next powerful center. The shamans of Peru represent these centers as air. For me is air, fire, water, earth. So we come from the stars, and the yachai is the air. That's that connection with spirit. Then we come down to the mune of the heart. That's the sublime. That's a fire that we stoke, and we have a fire down to the waters. And that's our solar plexus, our pokpo, our point. That pokpo, that water element, is then called our yankai. And then we come down to the kalsa, which is our base, feeling very safe and supported. The we push, you know, the calcite. The calcite powerful vibration that is back. We blast that out into the ether because elements.
Yep, I was wondering if we were going to lose her. We just started to lose her there. And
that's
okay. It's okay. I'm sure she'll be back. And in the meantime, I think, Lacrosse, you have a dream.
I see.
There's a couple pieces of it. Eve put it up. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and move on to the dream interpretation after our commercial break. We'll go ahead and take our break now. Perfect. While we get things working out. All right, we'll take a little commercial break.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE-DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam! There you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com. WLFE Digital Broadcast Network is on TV. You can watch all of our shows on WLFE-DB.com. Check out our channels. Paranormal View for all of your paranormal type shows. LGBTQ Friends for all of our LGBTQ shows. Variety Unlimited for all other shows. It runs 24/7 right on WLFE-DB.com. You'll even catch the lives, all in one place. Never miss an episode, past or future. WLFE-DB.com, where our shows are your shows. Search for your favorite shows like Where's My Sage, Inside the Drag Closet, Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Paratalk Radio, Step into the Paranormal, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and more. Now you won't miss an episode. Remember, follow Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Make sure you subscribe and follow your favorite WLFE-DB radio shows. You can find our shows where you listen to your favorite podcasts, like Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and more. WLFE-DB Radio is looking for podcasts to join our family. You don't have to fit any strict genre. We're a plethora of shows. If you're looking to jump on a growing network, then contact us at WLFEDBradio@gmail.com.
Wow, Amazon Music just got a whole lot better. Your favorite shows from WLFE-DB Radio can now be found there. Yes, we are on Amazon Music, found under podcasts. Download the app, find podcasts, and search all of your favorite shows. Shows like Where's My Sage? Across the Pond, Everything Yet Nothing, Skeptical Help Bar, The Creepy Parlor, Just Cindy, and much more. Now you don't have to miss an episode ever. Amazon Music is WLFE DB Radiofied.
Tune in to Kaleidoscope Eyes with your host, Transman Lacrosse Ortiz. Every week, we will be touching topics within the LGBTQIA plus community. We will also be having interviews with individuals within the community and allies. Journey with us as we share in their struggles and triumphs every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I was going to say, I'm back. Where's everybody else? I'm so alone.
You're not alone, my friend. Never alone. So I want to read Eve's dream.
Yeah, that was intense.
She has an intense dream here for you, Lacrosse. I was setting up some sort of accounts and trying to find a home to buy. There were many for sale or condemned, but I had to read the papers carefully to know pricing on them. So I got the impression that the condemned ones were also for sale. Then there was some farm, and I was working on my wheelchair and other old devices. I was putting money in various small trowels that were for various vendors who lived on the property and had stalls in an old barn where they sold their goods. They seemed to be, hold on a second. I only remember some chickens there as far as animals. Then I was told it better to go to a church with real cows and pigs than just virtual ones. So I began looking for an active farm to build a church at where the cows and pigs were being raised in the back part of the barn, like church, and there would be regular blessings of the cows and pigs each time there were meetings. I was rather confused by it. So I remember it being important that there were more cows than pigs, but had to have both. I don't remember there being any other animals except for a couple of dogs, including my alerting dog there. But I was still trying to figure out why it was better to have a church with a real cows and pigs than virtual ones just before I woke up. And it had me wondering the meaning after I awoke. Wow.
Yeah. That's a really, really intense. Like I was taking tons of notes.
I bet.
Well, we'll start at the beginning with the setting of the accounts. When you think about setting accounts, it's preparing, saving money. You're in preparing for something. Okay, so what I found it funny was to buy a home, whether it was condemned or not. I mean, there is a process that's continuing here that's very consistent. It didn't matter if the houses were in good condition or in bad condition, but you were looking to buy a house, which is a foundation. So you're preparing to get a foundation, whether it's spiritually, emotionally, mentally. You're trying to prepare this foundation, all right? But then, it kind of jumps from there and it goes to the farm, all right? And there are various vendors. Now, what I found funny is that the one only had chickens. It was like barely just chickens there. No, that's not enough for me. I need more than just a chicken. There's no really food in there. But then they're telling you it's better to go to. Now, I don't know if you have a religious background, because this sounds like you might have a religious background, because this is interesting. And in Judaism and Christianity, cows and pigs do represent something. Cows are clean, pigs are unclean. So I don't know if you have a religious background, because that could just be something that's just rooted you from back then, and it's always cows are clean, pigs are unclean. And it's better to have one or the other than virtual ones. But here's the deal. It doesn't matter what you get. It's all going to end up as food. So you could get cows, you could get pigs. They could be clean or unclean. It doesn't matter where you're getting this spirituality or this source or what it is that you need. What matters is that you're getting fed. And that's what I'm getting from that. You're confused as to where are you getting your spiritual food from, or where you're getting your emotional food from. The point is it's food. Just take it, eat it, enjoy it, and take it for what it is. Because what I also saw is that you keep giving into these trials to other people. So you're taking in and you're giving out, and you have to see this is what you do. Maybe that's what you do. You give or you receive, and then you give. I hate the give and take. I always hate saying give and take. It's more like receive, give, receive, gift, and also the wheelchair and the old devices, that could be old mindsets. Like when I saw that you're working on the wheelchair and old devices, you're still kind of hung up a little bit on that old mindset. And maybe you got to kind of just let that old mindset go and just take in the food. Doesn't matter where it comes from. Live in the house. Doesn't matter if it's beautiful or not. Enjoy your foundation. Enjoy what you need. Take it in so that way you can continue giving. So that's pretty much, and whether it's a virtual one, whether it's a real actual church, whether it's a pig or whatever these things are literal, which they're not, they're just metaphorical. Just keep taking in, eating, so that you can continue to give yourself sustenance so that you can give back. So that's what I took from that. I hope it helped. I don't hear you.
So she did say, sorry. So she was saying that the missing part was that they seem to be related to me building a church on this farm, but each of the trials belonged to various people who also lived on the farm, kind of like a self-contained community, which is kind of what you said.
Yeah.
And she said she does have a religious background, but she's on an eclectic path. And I totally get it, Eve. I think a lot of us have some sort of religious background or whatever. And then we have an eclectic path, and that's,
sadly, sometimes that past, like religion tends to traumatize you, and it stays stuck with you through your life. Like I've been reading a lot on a lot of the Toltec wisdom, and it's basically you're in this dream world, and all these experiences that were not really yours, they were forced on you, they kind of stick with you, and you have to start sorting through them and say what is really mine and what is not. And since like I said, the cows, the pigs, with that mindset, it's just your old mind interpreting that representation. So
for sure, I think whatever religion you were brought up with, it's going to vibrate into your now, even if you don't really identify with it much. Like there are things that like I tend to have, like sometimes some Catholic overhangings, where I'm like, oh my, that definitely comes from my Catholic upbringing. So
yes. Same with the Pentecostal. I'm just like, oh Lord, get out of there. Stop
Right.
that mindset. Shoot.
Yeah. Whoa, boy, Pentecostal, man.
Yeah. That was
rough. Yeah. I think sometimes think Catholic, Catholic was bad, but Pentecostal is pretty. Whew. Yeah. But Sandy said that she loves that interpretation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So I appreciate that. And I think before we lost Zebiah, we were talking about our connection to things and all of that. And I want to bring Zebiah back out, and she's got her connection all worked out. Oh my gosh. Eve also says, Eve, if you have a Pentecostal upbringing, you definitely have some programming in there that's probably a little off kilter. That's probably influencing your dream for sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, goodness. So now that Zebiah has her connection all worked out, I'll bring you back out, Zebiah. Welcome back. Welcome back.
That's such a classic, is when I know that we've hit that open road where we're going to get in with some really powerful information. There'll be breakdowns, the internet goes, we're blocked in every field. And I'm like, no, you fuckers, I'm on to you. Come on, get the battery, get it sorted now. It happens every time. There's always a challenge to get you a little bit wobbly. But if that's all right, what I was saying is that field. Now that's what we're talking about when challenges come into the field and it makes us unstable. So just in that little moment, I went all wobbly, like, oh, now there's no battery. What's happening? Oh, I got it. And then sorted it all out. Strong. We're strong because we're actually intentionally pulsing our intentions into the awareness of what's trying to take us out. Anything, energy, this, that, anything in the field. I really love this. So that was a vibration that we go attuning with this light being vibration, this light from within as a clear flowing vessel from heavens to earth. And then we blast that out of the field. And that's in the main cosmology. That's my gateway to everything, is that energy blasts right out and it goes right through our families, right through our communities. We distant heal with this luminous body of light. And then it goes all the way out through Mother Earth, so that we are the rainbows that represent double time. I love this double time rainbows. And there we are. Here we are. I haven't got a long time to go though, family. So I'd love to really, with this energy that I'm feeling in the moment, and just get on the big drums and just see what comes through, because I really like to have a little roar into that space, because we're all witnessed here. We're going all the way around the globe and we're representing who we are as the rainbows of who we are. Yeah, and
yes,
I'll get on the drum here. I've got my little space up here set up. This is what I do with the online event works, and we get you dancing and singing and sounding.
How's that? What's the image in the middle? What's the large picture in the middle there? Is that a god or?
Yeah, well, that's an African. I thought it was a woman when I bought it. An African man. I thought it was when I bought it, and it was just in this shop with like pulsing me. I walked out. I walked back. What's calling me in here? What is this? And it was this face, and African man that looks like he's been through a lot of trauma. But when you look deep into his eyes, it's the eyes of God. It's the eyes of the divine. It's the eyes of love and forgiveness. You can see in those eyes, and very powerful. And this being is sitting in this space, holding it as my warrior, my ancient warrior, traveling through the dark into the light. And interesting, because when we have dinner in this space right here as a family around the Knights of the Round Table, that's what everything in our world is. Knights of the Round Table. We sit, we orchestrate new vibrations on crystal days. So we know we are a portal that's opening in that magnetic field of the Mayan cosmology on what day it is. So it opens new realms for new things to come in. And when we're sitting around the Knights of the Round Table having dinner one night with my babies, the kids will just say, that, this is not a man, Mum. This is a woman. And I'm like, oh, you see that? And then I didn't see it to start with until the children brought in the masculine and the feminine and brought that into the Knights of the Round Table. So as we're talking about topics and conversations in this wonderful live stream, we look at the dualities, the little subtle things in the energies that we can always bring it back to the source of one, back to the heart of love and that unified field of a crystalline staff in Mother Earth. And that blasts all the way around our Mother Earth, transforming all the heavy energies, and we transform it all to Sami, which is light. And then we are the hummingbird and come around and drink in every beautiful flower in that sacred garden because we've tended the soils. We've composted the hucha. There's a new beautiful, beautiful blossoming tree, a flower blasting on our Waichuma plant, our sacred cactus. There's a blasting, beautiful flower that we've created in our field. So then we can come along as a hummingbird and drink in all the sweet sumi nectars from the gods. And it's important that we're greedy with this in the times we need this and drink it in. Come around this way. Because that's our Kanika house, our spirit house, what we really tend to, the seeds for those magnificent flowers. And to be greedy, a little bit more with our self-love and our self and I'm going to love you, but I'm going to love my unique greatest self even more. Is that okay?
Yes. I think that's beautiful.
And that's where the light vibration activates. And then new people come into our energy. It'll be sort of like up our steps and into our life. And we're like, oh my God, I love you. That's what happened with all of us, wasn't it? Oh my God, thanks for seeing me when nobody else does.
It was beautiful.
Nobody else will talk to me anywhere, but you girls will. I love it. Anyway, I'm going to fire this up and get on the drum and clear some energy, and then I'll come down with a little prayer for us all, And if that's okay, then.
That sounds beautiful. I want to let you know that everybody's loving it. Adam's watching, and he says he loves the energy coming through the cosmos. Just so you know, there are people watching.
Yeah, that's excellent. I love it. The more we blast this in through the rainbow, through our unique, authentic, sacred self. Yeah, those bits and pieces, those crafts that we've learned from the past, we all have them. We need to tend those little seeds. We don't need more, really. We need to be tending in those seeds. And it may take a lifetime to learn about the Yachai, Mune, Yankai, Kausai, air, fire, water, earth, different bits of healing vibrations that we've learned from the past. But it's important that we cultivate it enough. We can just get our false self out of the way and speak that to the circle, to the vibrational people, to our children, to our next generations, to the aged, to the sick. Yeah, whoever needs that distant healing, we have that ability within ourselves to really pull that in from that crystalline being, our crystalline bones anchored deep into Mother Earth. And then we come from that space that's an embodiment into the field with our distant healing, with our prayers, with voicing this freedom for others that need it in these times. Our prayers are very powerful. And our decision, willingness, and action to bring it into the embodiment and the field of that light, to blast it through everything and send it to the ones that need it. That comes from that heart-to-heart connection when you really lean into each other. Because I feel we're a wolf pack. Nobody's standing in front of each other. We're all like leading away with our authenticity. Who we are, what we're doing here. We don't take from others. we give, and we stand side by side. I'm going to back you and you and you to find that extraordinary self that is within you. That's your extraordinary, authentic power. And I'm going to back that. We're mature, evolutionary humans in these times, and it's about time we pull our socks up. Get rid of the judgment, the greed, the wanting. I want to be like you. No, fuck, that's not it.
No,
Find
be yourself.
That soul purpose. Who are you? If you don't know, sit, just wait, be still, just love. Learn to talk to the winds. Let the fire crackle and tell you a story. Let you howl with your vulnerability and being a mess on Pachamama. Because the more you are vulnerable and open up that space to be vulnerable, that's your anchored, grounded space to burst in with your intentions and prayers for guidance, for help. And I know the veils are very thin, and that's when somebody just gets dreamed into your space, or I have a lot of that. Zebiah, I dreamt you into my field last night. You had your Palo Santo and your condor feather, and you just shifted me with this smoke, and then poof, you just went. And I'm like, oh, really? Wow. What do we need to shift from you, sis? So, it's happening in our dreams. The veils are very thin, but now I'm being presented in the field with, if the veils are very thin, the light beings, the more that we activate in the light, there's always a heavy demon in the airways ready to dump load something into that field of light. And it's an ever unwinding, growing process, but we need to be onto that, because if we have a veil that's very thin, light can come and contact us. Ancient ancestors can come and contact us to heal others, and what we need as the apothecaries of our time, our ancient healers, if they can contact us, so can the big, heavy, dark demons. And I'm really aware of this now in the field, what's presenting to me with friends and people that are having things come in. It's to me, I'm like, no, we gotta be really wrathful at times, that shiakwasa, that fire, and stand and say, no more, that energy. And then we blast that through the field as well. So we're becoming that equilibrium, that liberated equilibrium with all energies, light and dark. Not good or bad, just heavy. And then we keep the PowerPoint spot, because we're the only ones that give our power away. We keep that PowerPoint sacred self in action and in force, and we can be gentle as a sacred lotus flower and soft and beautiful. And we can also roar as a lion, walking as a jaguar woman with the tiger and the puma by my side.
Well, I think I was hoping that you Zebiah would share with us some of your beautiful music and see what comes through in this moment, because I really appreciate. I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I love this. Let's do this more, babes. Let's do this more. I love you guys. You just flowing the magic in. Important we flow the magic in and lean in. We lean into each other. We want to, but we're scared. I get so many people that are so scared. I'm like, I'm not a scary person. I'll get you dancing like pixies, and you'll be roaring like a lion. But you'll be releasing and you'll be regrowing as the beautiful, beautiful earth angels that we all are. The hummingbirds. All right, I'm going to do this. All right, here we go. So you can see, here's the earth drums, and it's really awesome when I do this with my ceremonies and the beautiful bunches of women that come and up level in this space. The PA set up, we get them vibing and dancing with their ancestors and calling on that sound from within. That sound from within, then they hear themselves on the microphone. Whoa, and then we're dancing with something very magnificent that there's no way you're going back. You can't go back in. You can't go back to that once you've had a little taste of your own magnificent freedom. So let's encode our prayers into this, eh? Let's encode just into this space right now. Let's do it, eh? I'll do a little prayer first. I'll open up the space. See where we can go.
Mm-hmm.
Great Mother Earth, Grandfather Sky and Spirit, we honor you. We love you. Our Indigenous ancestors, the love of heart, all of our hearts together in these times. Let us bless and honor where we've walked. And we transform all the heavy energies in our rainbow, in our energy, our Wirakucha. We transform all that energy. We transmute it. Let's just connect with it and feel it through the song, the dance, the drum. And voice your prayers into the space, our intentions in these times, in these moments, so we all can choose every now moment. Great Mother Earth, Grandfather Sky and Spirit, love you. Gracias, gracias. Love you. We thank you and we honor you. Jamawale, Jamawale, Jesus become Jamawale, Jesus become Grandfather Sky and Spirit, we love you, we honor you. Mighty Eagle, Great Mother Spirit, Great Mother Heart, I believe in you, I feel you, I know you, I love you. No one wanted, like when Jesus began my life. Call medicine, put it into your day. Lapis lazuli medicine would have healed the way. Healing, luminous light, love, the lapis lazuli medicine around. He's that rich dark blue, like the ocean, deep ocean. David, home baby, Gracias. Gracias. Put your mommy, put your baby. Mamaye, 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 nyao. Omahum haribam jana. Dakini, 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 ayushizawa. Ayujana hum barum narija sri baru. Om Sri Bam Jana Dakini, Dakini, Dakini. Mandrava Isrijam. Om Sri Bam Jana Dakini. Mandrava Isrijam. Jahu, Jahu. Allow the wisdom Dakinis to be with you in your day. Allow the wisdom Dakinis to bless you in each and every way. Gracias, Pachamami, Pachapupi, Yachai, Yankai, Mune, Kausai. Humphrey, Humphrey, Hanu Pichu. Humphrey, Humphrey, Wakibuka. Humphrey, Humphrey, Machu Picchu. Humphrey, Puchakusi, Mr. Johnny. Humphrey, Humphrey, Stockentay, Astangate, Humphrey, Humphrey, Humphrey. Call our spirit in with the great spirit mountain, the crystalline mountains. Calling your spirit family, calling the mountains that are near you. Call them in now. Humphrey, Humphrey. And let's all say a mountain that we stand on. Our indigenous elders of these moments, these times, these realities. Let's just bring honor and love to that crystalline mountain. Hold that mountain in your heart. Humphrey, 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 Humphrey. We call that into our being. We love, we honor, we are so grateful for you, Great Spirit. Sacred waters. Hula frime, hula frime, hula, hula frime. Sacred waters, a mama, call her into our soul. Ha, we, hula, hula frime, hula frime. Oh, shiniwa. Bright Hawk and Hollis. Oh, shiniwa, oh, shiniwa, oh, shiniwa. Calling the sacred waters, the mama. Oh, shiniwa. We bless spirit. Samawe. 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 Sa. Sa. Infinite, infinite, sublime love, the Monet, the love that radiates in this circle around our earth as the rainbows of our ancient hearts connecting in these moments. And we blast that light through all of our earth, rainbows, double time. Rainbows, double time. We blow it away.
Talk about receiving, like receiving prayer. That's what I was feeling, like just receive the prayers and the energy and the love, the blessing. Receive that.
Receive it.
Just receive.
Receive it.
Open
Greatly
your
receive
heart.
it.
Open your heart. Take it
Absolutely.
in. Swallow it like a
Absolutely.
beautiful meal.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just got all my sacred medicine bundle, my mesa. I've got this right in the screen there. The sacred shamans, look at this bundle of sacred rocks from Machu Picchu, all of our energies that wanted to come in the medicine bundle. This is what we heal with. And we hold this to the spirit. Yeah, on your heart. It's heavy with rocks, sacred rocks and crystals from crystalline lands. We can all do this at home and have our medicine bundle on our altar. We heal with this. We know that this can blast through any space. We have things to back us up, and it doesn't have to be expensive or anything. Little medicine bundle of rocks, and just those love heart rocks, those crystals, something that's got energy. It's energy. And this is what we infuse our prayers with. They don't go anywhere without their mesa, the shamans in Peru. Our teachers, they have little medicine bundles when they journey, and they program the mesa. They open it, claiming the Inti Inca sun, Inti Katayante sun, the sacred sun in them, and cleansing them and honoring them and sitting in front of their mesa open to receive all the energy and work that vessel into this. And then we medicine bundle it up with our prayers. And this personally is what I call on spirit with. I get out of my own way and things come through. Like, I was shaking my shit ass pants off during that drum. Shaking and in the energy, like, oh my God, what's happening? Fuck, woo, here we go. But we cultivate that energy. We cultivate that energy and we breathe. We have to remember to breathe it in because there's something coming through. And that's what this anxiety going on. We need to harness that. Everything is energy. We need to harness energies. Breathe in through our sacred breath, our shamanic breath. We are the magnetic white wizards of these lands, and important we know. Our breath controls everything to branch it out into a medium, to a channeled way, to a intuitive way, something greater than yourself now. That's what I feel we have so much new galaxies birthing when we do the work and work through the unprocessed stuff. We have so many more galaxies that are birthing. Nothing's been written. It's not all written before. We're actually are the ones we've been waiting for in our times now.
Yeah.
And the more that we pray, the more that we bring our medicine bundles in, the more that we understand distant healing and really lean in where we're being gravitated to. Lean into that space. Don't be fearful. You lean in, subtly lean in, because where there is this bandwidth and this web going all the way around planet Earth, this cosmic web, that we're here for our own sanity and our own freedom. And we shift that block on joy, because it's joy is where we need to pulse, because that's that feeling of light that will go beyond all shadow. That's how I understand it. So we've got the mesa. So
Medicine bundles.
Walking altar. Bring your altar and magic in. Yes. And bring your prayers into circle more earth-based rituals. Fire, sacred fire, building despacho, a mandala and medicine bundle that you can burn then with everything you need to. Families, communities, we give it for Pachamama. We do this for Pachamama, that we stand in service of our Mother Earth. May there be peace and happiness through all humanity.
May there be peace and happiness for all humanity. I love that. I love you. It's so good to be in your energy again.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love you, family. I love you. It's all about love around here. Love wins. And please feel free for anybody to reach out. And I'm Zebiah Sunflower on Facebook and Zebiah Lionheart on Instagram. And I'm still learning all about this technology. That's why it can come in and try to block me. I'm still learning. But I love the voice messaging, heart-to-heart connection. That's where you're going to find me at. Blasting in what they want from me or whoever wants from me. It's not my dig anymore. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that anymore. We have to connect heart-to-heart. Voice message. We can hear so much in the voice. Yeah, and it's really important because that's our voice, our place of power where we meet each other with all the falsehoods dropped away. You need to be vulnerable in that space. Beautiful, be vulnerable. So yeah, let's stay in contact and lean in. I feel it's more we lean in, we gather in these spaces where we have those seeds and those pearls of wisdom dropped in. And I'm definitely in the airways because if there's any AI going on, then blast a bit of Zebiah Lionheart into your AI because that's how we're going to help our planet. Connecting in with the ancestors, the healing ancestors of light. Yep, I'm out in there. I'm right around the planet, baby. Get a bit of the rainbow into you. Get a bit of the rainbow into you.
That's right. Absolutely. That's what we do here on Rainbow Soul. We blast the rainbow. I love what Eve said because Eve, I've also seen a double rainbow. She said, whenever you say rainbow double time, I find myself picturing a double rainbow as once in Niagara Falls. I've seen a double rainbow here in Colorado. Colorado is very big on rainbows.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
yeah, so I totally get you there, Eve. Double rainbow everywhere.
We can't be too serious with us. We can't be too serious with ourselves all the time because the cold control is they're trying to block our joy. No dancing, no live music. Music is your channel. You know, however it sounds, we all have a sound. We all have that embodying beat, even if we think we don't. We do. And I've seen what happens, like the shaky, the whoa, 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 like an animal that's just been through stress. And this is actually a fantastic thing. And a movement medicine practice is when you feel that unsettledness come into your energy. I do. I get shaky. Like, oh, hang on. What's going on? So harnessing that and even to connect that with movement medicine, like a swan, shaking. You know, that's what I feel. The anxiety, the bits and pieces, the people that have depression, they need to get that fire burning and move the medicine movement in to activate that self that can hold the balance, the movement, that internal balance of their rhythmic heart. Not anybody else's heart, not anybody else's energy, their rhythmic heart. And cultivate spiritual will. That I can roar like a lion if I need to. I walk as a jaguar woman with the lion and the tiger by my side, the puma within. And I can be the most beautiful, magnificent flower in my spirit house, my Kanika house as well. And I can also drink when I need to as the hummingbird, the fine swimming nectars from the gods. Because the lightning shards from the thunder beings are our ally. We need to call them in. They're always there for us. We can smile in the face of the demons, then, because we know we're going to give them a cup of tea of light and love.
It's pretty much what I've had to do. Yes. We love you, Zebiah. We totally appreciate your presence, your music, your prayers, and all of your deep, beautiful wisdom. Zebiah, you can find her website there in the banner. You can also find it in the event page. And I also want to tell you that she also has a YouTube page. Looks like she's building up. And I'll put that in the chat. I encourage you to check out her.
I'm giving it a go.
Hey, YouTube is it's a thing. Yeah. And if you remember correctly,
Yeah,
Zebiah, the last time we were in person, we hiked out to Pele and watched the volcano pour her fire into the water. Beautiful fire water together, and I filmed it on YouTube. So YouTube has a way of also, if nothing else, just like Facebook, sort of documenting what we've done and what we've been through and how we've come together. And
I love it. Yeah.
And so also Rainbow Soul does too. You know, these live videos are available forever. Please share them on your page and with your friends so that people can say, oh, wow, this is Zebiah. This is totally awesome. And it's a great way of sort of documenting things. That's one of my favorite things about the internet is that it kind of documents your life and you can look back and go, yeah. I think we just had one of those shared memories, Zebiah, a little bit ago, and I seen a picture of the three of us in Hawaii, and I was like, "Hey!" Right.
That was in the pyramid land of the Green Islands, and we're talking about the volcano Pele. Well, that's all the land that's not there anymore. So when we went and did our big Banakuma and our prayers on that land, within a year it all gone.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad we infused those solid prayers in that sacred land. And how honored to actually have the experience of walking that with our solid spirit, our ancient ancestors guiding the way for our prayers for land, but now it's not there, all being taken by Pele, the big fire. Wow, the big volcano.
Yeah. It's magical, beautiful. Pele is such a powerful energy. And when you come across things like a volcano and when you travel and you visit some of these sacred places that even you and I've been to around the United States, we've, driven it. So we've really seen this country. And when you're in that and you're there and you're praying and you feel the land, you really have a sacred connection to it. Kind of forever. You carry that experience and that memory with you forever until the moment you die. And maybe you pass that on to your ancestors, to your children.
To stand among the redwoods that are 3,000 years old, and it's a living being.
In Stonehenge, you mean?
No, the redwoods.
In the redwoods.
Trees are calling you,
redwood forest. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the redwoods
those trees are calling. Yeah, they're calling you guys to stand with them.
Yeah.
You're a reflection of heart, the ancient apothecaries of our time, darling.
Yeah. They're incredible.
Yeah. And I was thinking about your visit to Stonehenge and that energy.
I did think of that when you were speaking earlier, Zebiah, because we were talking about rhythm and vibration. And Stonehenge is all about that and alignment with the stars. So I spent vernal equinox at Stonehenge playing my handpan on the stones.
Wow.
3 of us. It was
wow. Oh yeah. Yeah,
and
absolutely. With you in the house,
it's that
baby.
portal space you're talking about where you're in that vibratory field where something else opens and you're It's so past words.
Yeah.
Words as a storyteller. Imagine if
know,
you will.
I know, right?
Right. So I encourage us all to get out there and feel it. Get out there and feel things.
Nature.
Get connected with things. Get connected with nature.
Wow. And if you can be at
yeah.
natural sacred lands on equinox or solstice, I feel lucky enough to have been in Hawaii for some of those things, and Stonehenge and the pyramids in Mexico in Tulum, spring equinox.
Right on.
Yeah, if you can connect to those places, if there's any way, and I so would love to go to Machu Picchu. Oh my God.
Machu Picchu, yeah, that would be beautiful. Go to Peru.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It would be amazing. But yeah, I just want to encourage everyone and anyone. I agree with you. There is a through line, a portal of connection to that one heart of ancestral time, past, present, and future. We have a chance to connect with those places on the earth. And if you can't go to the places, you can always look up into the sky. And that same map, that same grid is there for you. We are all stars, right? We are all from the stars. And that's a pretty powerful connection as well.
As soon as we put our attention on, we don't have to actually fly and go and stand there in those lands. That's how these veils are very thin. And I may never be flying again because I'm not having any mandatory vaccine. So we have to be okay with being on these Indigenous lands, finding out about the Indigenous lands that you occupy, wherever you are around the world. Find that spot, that area you're called to, that tree you're called to in your backyard. You know, everything is in our own backyard, and it's important we love and honor that with the nature every moment we can now, not going too far afield. We get wobbly when we go too far afield. I want to go and see this. I want to go on world travel. Yes, but, you know, you just got to be okay with you may never do any of it again. You know, like I think the attachment on things gets us very wobbly. So then we learn to tune into that intuitive energy, do some research, feel the energies, back people, and lean in with people that you know hold the keys and the codes. Yeah. And that's why this online energy, this portal of crystalline magic that we can tone is very important. Very important.
It's priceless.
And we can actually open portals to receive the information then. And that's what we do in spiritual will as well. And that's a container and a portal. The 4-week journey of spiritual will online is a portal. It's like opening Pandora's box to your unique ancestors and those codes that are coming through you with whatever the seeds are from the past. Your unique, authentic space to build that craftsman, bring that out as a leader for your communities, your families, your peoples. The healer within you to walk that into your physical skin suit. And we all have that ability to do that and swiftly transform as well. That's what I'm talking, swift. There's a swiftness going on. I love it. I love it.
Well, thank you so much, Zebiah. I totally appreciate and love you. And I strongly would recommend that you go to her website, take a look, and look at her YouTube. She's got some great stuff on there too. And I put the link in the chat so you can find it. You can also find it at her website, Spiritual Will Online. And right now I'm about to do a tarot reading for everybody here, everybody watching, everybody that's part of this. Even if you're watching the recording days later, I want to let you know that I'm doing a reading for you. And this is the Love is Love deck. Love is love because it's just love, okay? And every single one of these cards is art by a different LGBTQ artist. So it is a completely collaborative deck, and that I think makes it special. So I'm going to pull out 3 cards, past, present, and future, that will help us guide on our thing and anything that you on our path, and anything that you hear today that vibrates with you, that sits well in your heart and soul. Please take it with you. And anything that doesn't, just leave it there. It's for somebody else. It's not for you, my friend. It's okay. And so here I am. I'm going to pull out 3 cards for you. And wow, all new, kind of new cards. Some of them new to me, or newer. I just started reading this deck. So this is a beautiful card, a 4 of Wands, which has a beautiful trans and queer couple with a person of color, a mixture, the diversity in this photo with the tradition. Because the tradition is still there, right? One person is still wearing a beautiful tuxedo, and the other person is wearing a bridal dress, which is very traditional in marriage. And the tradition is also being celebrated in the double rainbow, like Zebiah would say, in the diversity of every single one of who we are, the beautiful diversity of life. And how beautiful it is for us all to be ourselves. That's what this card is all about. This card is reminding you that tradition and diversity can come together. It has come together in the past and will and is. And it is part of who we are. And the right now is this beautiful celebration of this woman. And you can see she's definitely dancing and performing in that performance type of energy, that stage glow. And this is about celebrating who you are, your inner power, your strength, your power that has to come forward. Bring it forward, bring it out into the world, and share it with all of us, so that we can also celebrate you, because that's also this card, and that is the 9 of Pentacles. It's the 9 of Pentacles. It's about bringing forward your gifts and showing off your gifts. Don't be afraid to be yourself. And
hallelujah.
Look at this. This is about our future. This is support. This means we stand and have each other's backs. That we say, I've got you, right? This is like all of the pride, every pride you've ever been to, where you're watching grandmas walk up and down, and every drag show you've seen people support each other, every spiritual community you've ever been in where people are supporting each other. That's this card. This is the 3 of Pentacles. This is all about support, supporting each other, being exactly who we are, just who we are, just the way we are. Just walk forward with it. Carry your power forward. That's what this is all about. We got diversity. We have diversity and tradition meeting. We have the authentic shelf showing through on stage, and we have the support of one another. What a beautiful set of cards to bring forth for all of us. Yes, yes, yes. These are beautiful messages and fantastic reading for all of us. And I'm just going to say,
I love that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, family.
I was shuffling these cards. I was shuffling these cards while you were playing music and while you were talking. I was just shuffling, just like a meditative practice, just shuffling. And I find that really brings out the energy in your cards. So I'm just going to say thank you. So, and that's how we share, and that's how we bring, and that's how we come together and collaborate, because collaboration, there's the magic. That's the magic. Yes.
That's a magic, darlings. I love you, beautiful family. I love you.
We love you, Zebiah. Yeah. Thank you for being on Rainbow Soul, and thank you, Lacrosse, and thank you, Bright Hawk, for being here with us today. And just thank you, every single person that's watching tonight. Thank you for watching, or if it's daytime, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for being here. We appreciate you. We love you. Good night.
I love you. Rockers, cosmic rock stars.
Thank you for watching Rainbow Soul, part of the WLFE DB Network. A queer perspective on spirituality beyond religion. We appreciate you sharing the show on your timeline. Follow us on social media of your choice and join our Facebook group, Rainbow Soul. We want to hear from you. Share your topic ideas for Hollis and Lacrosse. Explore upcoming shows and interesting guests. The Rainbow Soul Facebook group, where we build community of questioning seekers. Rainbow Soul, where spirituality is our medicine.
Tune in to Kaleidoscope Eyes with your host, Transman Lacrosse Ortiz. Every week, we will be touching topics within the LGBTQIA plus community. We will also be having interviews with individuals within the community and allies. Journey with us as we share in their struggles and triumphs every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Oh, yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam, there you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com.
Tune in to Kaleidoscope Eyes with your host, Transman Lacrosse Ortiz. Every week, we will be touching topics within the LGBTQIA plus community. We will also be having interviews with individuals within the community and allies. Journey with us as we share in their struggles and triumphs every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern.